Hey folks, AJ the CEO here, and we're back with another episode of the Media Booth. And man, this journey has been very interesting. As much as I want to stay consistent with this stuff, just stuff comes up. I wasn't feeling good last week. My whole week is kind of off, and I'm trying to get back on it. But um, these moments gave me more purpose to especially talk about this one. And again, we talk about this because of just to remind you, if you haven't been here in a minute and maybe my um being off for so long and recording these, kind of lost the purpose of why, or may have forgotten the purpose of this. This media booth is for me just to not rant, but just to talk and hopefully treat you as if you're a part of my media ministry and we just coming in, we're just talking. Sometimes we're talking about tech, but mainly it's about mindset and how we bridge the gap with what we do in ministry with our walk. And just sometimes it's the ups and downs of the things that we go through. And that's what this episode is talking about, is dealing with ministry frustration. Now, no matter how long you've been a part of any ministry, let's be honest. Again, I'm a preacher's kid. I saw my dad go through stuff dealing with people. His entire life as being a pastor, there is a form of frustration that will be involved. Now, I don't know, this isn't in Webster's, but this is my definition of frustration that I've learned over time. Frustration is trying to change something that you don't have the strength or the ability to change. And you just work yourself up to try and figure out, how can I change this when it was never meant for you to be able to change it in the first place? What's one thing that is frustrating? Trying to change people's minds. That is an impossible task. You cannot do that. If God has even given free will and he said he won't impede and override your will, who are we to think that we can change somebody else's will, or why we should get frustrated by that? It is natural. And for me, frustration, when I experience frustration, it's I'm trying to do something and spend energy in something that I'm not meant to control at this point in my life. Whether that be a situation, a circumstance, people, just the nature of things. So, for example, when I was wanting to go down this path, the frustration that I dealt with is no one saw the importance of media ministry, live streaming. And honestly, to this day, there's still people that still don't see it. And early on in my YouTube career, I used to do my videos to try and convince people why this is right. I made a change at that about 2.5 years ago, to where I'm not going to waste my energy trying to convince you or anybody why this is a good call, or to convince them that God told me to do this. I don't need to do that. So instead, I only talk to the people that have an ear to hear. There's no point in me trying to waste energy, anybody's energy, trying to change someone when you don't have the ability to do that. So realize that. When you're coming across frustration in ministry, are you trying to change something that God isn't even touching because it's impeding on somebody's will? So why are you trying to do it? So, if you're trying, and I'm trying to give examples, it's best for me to talk about me. I want to go in a direction. I feel led to go that way, but everybody I'm around doesn't see the importance of it. That's frustration. Because again, if God is giving you a vision, sometimes, just like with Joseph and Mary, Joseph was giving some, he was given a update to know that, hey, Mary won't sleeping around. She's carrying the child endowed, and she was impregnated by the Holy Spirit. You know, he was given a heads up about that, so they were in sync with that stuff. And there are times in our lives when God reveals something to you, and you'll have somebody touch and agree. Again, you're not going to that other person for their permission, but sometimes you'll get that. And if people don't see your vision, there's a reason for that. The vision was given to you. And I think a lot of frustration is like, man, is this the right thing for me to do? Because if it was, everyone would love it. Let me be honest with you. No, that's not true. When I felt it was time for me to leave my job, when I felt it was time for me to leave being a musician and teach media, everyone that I held dear said it was a bad decision. And it was frustrating to me because they didn't see what I saw. And I had to realize that when it's in ministry, our stuff is not to please people, it is to do what God has called us to do, whether it's understood by other people or not. Now, again, I'm not preaching to you and I'm not telling you to live by this. I'm just telling you how I had to deal with ministry frustration. Because I was somebody, and if anybody knows me personally, I don't hide my feelings. I wear them on my sleeve. If AJ's upset, you're going to see it on my face. I don't hide it. I used to hide stuff for a long time and it got pent up and I blew up a long time when I was angry, and I don't do that anymore. I learned that a long time before I got into the Marines and learned how to do stuff like that. But um, I just learned that when I'm frustrated, I need to take myself to the hospital, you know, metaphorically, and do an analysis on me. AJ, why are you so upset? Is it that Sister blah 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 or Mr. blah 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 or whoever doesn't understand what you're doing and you're hitting your head against a brick wall? Why are you doing that? Why are you allowing yourself to be upset over something that you cannot control? You can't wish your will upon people. If they don't see the vision, that's great. Share it with them, roll on. Just like the same way, our mission in sharing the message of Jesus Christ is to share, not to convince, not to convert. It is to share and let the word do it. Think about how frustrating and how pointless. Let's go back. What if the disciples got frustrated because nobody wanted to listen? We wouldn't be here. So it's not about trying to change and make everybody see it the way you do. You just share it. Like I used to always say, instead of trying to convince people, I set myself on fire and invited people to watch. Whether they watched, that's great. I'm still going to do this. If they watch, that's great. I'm still going to do this. And I'm being real transparent that I'm gonna shout him out right now, and I'm so proud of him. Chris Garcia, him and his wife, they do fresh oil live streams on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I believe, and they had an experience about like a week and a half ago that their channel just went through the roof. Now, I'm being real transparent. Initially, that frustrated me. And I'll borderline say I was a little bit jealous that I'm like, and it was almost like a John the Baptist Jesus type of moment. And I'm just like, God, I've been doing this for this long, helping and helping, helping and helping and helping. And I'm nowhere close to the goals that I have in my mind. And Chris went there and man, he just hit 80,000 subscribers. Super proud of him. Very proud of him. I'm so excited about what they're doing. But my frustration came in. It's like, what am I doing wrong? I started comparing myself to him, their results, as if it was a flaw on me. And I quickly realized, hold on, I'm not competing with him. He's not competing with me. We have the same mission. He just happens to be in a different regiment than I am. He's a shieldsman, I'm a swordsman, or vice versa. It doesn't matter. So instead of me getting frustrated about why, which is not for me to answer, I don't know the reason why everything it is. God promotes whoever he wants to. Instead, let me turn that around and be like, man, thank God that now it's somebody else that's able to reach people using the medium of trying to talk to so many people for so many years of how this could reach people. And people would tell me, AJ, it's not possible. Everybody needs to come in, forsake not the gathering of others. Everything can only be done inside the four walls. Chris just showed me and proved to everyone that you could. So instead of me being frustrated, thank you, Chris, for showing and getting confirmation to me that this is right. So it's not about getting upset that people don't understand it. Sometimes it shows you that maybe your focus is wrong and you're looking at it in a different way. So instead of me being frustrated in ministry because it's not going the way I want to, maybe I need to look at it with a fresh perspective and realize that maybe it is still being accomplished. I'm just looking at it wrong. And maybe looking at it wrong is when you're trying to spend all that energy, spin your wheels, trying to convince everybody that this is how you feel it needs to go. Take that energy and put it somewhere else. For me, when everybody was telling me I was wrong, instead of me wasting my energy trying to tell and prove everybody that I'm right, I stopped talking and I just worked. And now no one can say that because I fall in line with following my ministry instead of trying to please man. So if you're frustrated with what you're going on, what's going on, what you're doing, whether in ministry, in your personal life, whatever, pray for a fact of maybe looking at it from a different perspective. Now, again, these ones I don't edit, and I'm transparent for a reason, because where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. I want to show and put my frustrations, the things that I deal with at the forefront, so that hopefully somebody there that's on the other side of the computer screen or your phone, the tablet screen, realizes that, hey, AJ with 58, what are we at? 58,700 subscribers. Guess what? He still gets frustrated. If he has all this stuff and it still bothers him, then maybe I'm not alone in this situation. And that's what I do this for, to talk to you. And I don't want to be like I'm floating and levitating that I just got this God stuff down, I don't. I'm still learning. This is a process. I'm still breathing, so I'm still learning. So are you going to experience frustration in ministry? Yeah, I do too. But I have to take a moment to sit back and reevaluate, am I using energy on something I can't control? And maybe there's a blessing in that whole situation that I miss. Like with Chris, and I'm going to tag him in here as well too. Chris, I'm proud of you, brother. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm excited about what you're doing. And I'm so glad that you're able to touch 80,000 more people, because that's what it's all about, to use this platform to be an e-missionary and minister to other people that we're probably never ever going to meet. And that's awesome. And I think the beauty of this is to just realize that it's not a mistake what we're doing, what we're called for. We might have an expectation that we want it to be done a different way, but God's going to bless it in a completely different way. You're still going to get the blessing out of it. It might just be in a different path. Again, I keep harping on the GPS mentality. I set the destination for this location, but guess what? On my journey, there was road construction that I thought this was going to be a smooth path. I just stay on I-95 South. But guess what? Construction was gone, and then it routed me somewhere else to I-85. And it takes me out of the way in a different path that I didn't think. And instead of me being frustrated, let me just trust that he's ordering my steps. And I need to, instead of trying to control it and convince people, let me just trust the person who put me on this path in the first place, and that they know what they're doing. And I just need to keep doing what I'm doing. So if that helped you in any way, leave some comments down below. I really appreciate it. I do try to read through every single comment. And even if it doesn't, AJ, the future you, I need you to listen to this again too, because this isn't just meant for everybody else. It's meant for you as well too. This is AJ, folks. Catch y'all on the next Media Booth. Later.